Okay, this is Pixelia here, and I'm with my man Jared,
What's
aka
good?
Bird. How are you doing today, Jared?
Good,
Everything
good,
going
good. I'm
well?
happy to be here, man. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be considered worthy of, getting broadcasted into Central Games. Like, you can hear the people muting their tabs now. They're like, oh,
No, no, you are worthy.
they're like, I need to turn my
Will
electronica.
land in your wallet soon. Mm, mm.
No,
So, Jared, thank you for being here, bro. I really
anytime.
appreciate it. I know I can speak for both Milito and Marcos when I say that we're thrilled to have you here. Um,
I don't
I
know.
consider you personally a good guy, and we've had a lot of fun conversations. So I figured, given the fact that people know who you are so much in the central end, it just makes sense to put a face to the to the voice and to the tweets and to the amazingly well dressed avatar running through the
Yeah,
central
I should have not gone with the generic hoodie. I should have done my avatar justice.
with my generic Gap sweater. No, that's okay. I'm wearing my generic Gap sweater as well.
I
It's
could
a
have gotten
fun
my easy
choice.
hoodie, but I didn't. Or
Yeah,
he's
no,
paying
you're good.
attention now, so we'll bring that out later. Uh,
So, Jared,
uh,
I'm
what's up?
just
What
gonna
do you want to talk
start
about?
in the same way I always start every interview. Tell me, how did you ever first get involved with crypto? How did you came to acquire your first coin, and how was the process that led you to the central end in the first place?
All right. Well, funny enough, like I came to crypto via like poker Twitter. Like I've never been like a pro poker player, but I've always been like it's been like my hobby of choice, just like nerding out on some of the math, like never like getting in deep enough of it to be good because can't my ADHD makes execution impossible. But so I followed like Mike McDonald and like Burberry. Shout out Burberry, she's the NFT poker gateway drug. But I followed both of them as they were talking about Ethereum, and I just never got Ethereum. So like at September of 2021, I think like Ethereum is like nearing all time highs, and like they're like, okay, NFTs, and Mike McDonald, God bless his soul, never once tweeted about some like shit projects. Like the dude bought CryptoPunks and like other things, and shout out to Burberry. Most of the things I've seen on her record, shout out, glowing success, great successes. But she had recommended these the rock no sorry my gateway drug was guitar playing rabbits called fuck, what were they called? I have an ETH worth of them. I have like 30, almost 30 of these things, and like rock buns, rock buns.
Rock
I think
band?
that's it. Either way, they're adorable. They're guitar playing rabbits. The artist made Teddy Bits, which at the time had like a 60th floor. You're like, how come this? Or to be sure, the art director was actually a different artist actually made it. I don't know. It was kind of like a soft rug, I think. Because the artist defense, they never promise a lot of stuff, but like everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be huge. They got all this cute art. They play guitars. Like they'll make games and shit. They're like, whoa, we didn't say we make games. We sold you cute guitar playing rabbits and then. But anyway, so that was my gateway into NFTs and crypto. I bought my first crypto to buy ridiculous guitar playing rabbits. So yeah, don't take my investing advice. Like no one. No, when people tell me like, oh man, like Jared recommended, this game and I ended up making money in it. I'm like, whoa, that was not why I was talking about it. I promise you, I have not made money in most of the things I've played per se. Cause like I just reinvest. I'm playing the game. Like the game is get as many ice poker wearables to level. I got to get 25 ice poker wearables to level 5. So I'm ready for when the guild leagues finally
For the
come
Gale
out.
Leagues?
Yeah, like I played Pegaxi. It's like, oh, I made some Pegaxi. Go, I could sell them, sure, or I could breed more Pegaxi and finally get to the perfect one. Well, good news, Jared. You have the perfect Pegaxi, but it is worth $3.
It's more shit.
I don't play Pegaxi anymore. It's broke my heart.
No, I got heartbroken by Set Run as well, so I get you there.
I never played Zedrun. I love the long term vision of Pegaxi. Like I don't want to disrespect the team and like what they're doing because like their goal is to slowly create like Road Rash 3D on flying horses, and like that would be sick. Imagine you're like flying on a horse, just pistol whipping somebody. Like that's gonna be sick. But like they started out as a glorified slot machine. Like yeah, every horse wins 26% of the time, and like well that was a silly, unsustainable model. Like why did any of us think we should invest in that? And like God bless, I didn't. My friend cashed out of ice poker at like 5 ETH for some level fives, but he bought the top of a Gaxi, and I'll tell you what, he hurts more than the rest of us.
He's in more pain,
Yeah, so
and
it's
he cannot have access to Diamond Hand City nights.
no. I mean,
It's the downside to that. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I gotta be honest with you. Like, Diamond Hand City nights, they keep my faith alive in the project because, you get to see how many people are actually there.
oh yeah,
Like,
no, it's as someone who goes to Diamond Hand City like almost every night, like there with the Zesty and
yeah, yeah,
Kaya and 9mm, all the gang. Roustin's often there. I don't want to Snad's there a lot. Mula BTC. I don't
yeah.
want to forget. I don't want to forget anyone because
Hayabusa is always there as well. Like,
I've been going there since pretty much inception. And like it's crazy to see because like there were times where like you'd show up and there's like, oh, no one's here, or like or I'd hit the group DM because I made a group chat way back that like I abandoned just because like I'm not good at maintaining. Like I'm not the person who brings a group of people together. That's not me. Like I'm just the guy's like, this is really cool, guys. Look at it. Hey, you group organizer, get over here.
yeah.
But like, which is why which is where Morph eventually was like, hey, we should do this on a specific night because I'm a grown up with a job, he said. And so but it's been awesome to watch
like most of
more
us.
and more people. Like there's been two tables a night, like more often than we used to get games started there last year. So that shit has got me excited. Like I'm like pretty hyped on ice poker. Like the most hyped I've been on ice poker since I bought it. Like I bought like 2 wearables in the last like week. So I don't know. I'm very excited.
The floor was incredibly low the other day, and I slept on it.
Yeah, I mean,
I was super sad. I was like, "What the fuck did I?"
I mean, if you really think about it, like there are more mutant apes than there are like ice wearables, and I just think that shouldn't be that hard. I sooner or later, like everyone who's like not.
No, the numbers are not hard to understand. If you see the full supply versus what's listed, it's nothing.
Because like we're in the bear market, like Decentraland is at like all-time lows.
In the middle of the bear market.
Yeah,
with the amount of supply of werewolves that there is around, there is only this few, like it's like 3% listed.
Well, it's not even from just the wearables aspect. It's because it's like, why buy in? It's like, well, because the team has created this cool ecosystem where like you're getting advertised to, which you're gonna get advertised to no matter where you go. But like now you're in a place where like they take that advertising dollars and they like reinvest it into the community by buying the ice and like burning it or adding it to the liquidity pool, which is like a non-sell pressure inducing way to like help stabilize the price so that it's and add spy pressure, put it up. It's like it's like it's a very innovative thing. I mean, like, yes, is it not going brilliantly for anyone who bought in at 5 ETH for level 5? No, that probably really hurts. I hear you. Like, definitely, losing money sucks. And like, but
when you talk about losing money, you're talking about losing money from your like, and this is and I say your and I say also mine because this is the numbers that I'm seeing as well from our present perspective. But then again, this is like,
oh yeah,
we're at the like this is the worst bear market I've experienced myself in crypto.
Oh no, of course, but like, but that's what it's about conviction because like it's easy to like lose doubt, lose self-confidence in the metaverse. It's like an intangible thing. Like I've never actually stood in Miles's presence. I hear it's glorious, but I've never actually seen these people. Are they real? Like I've never seen Souse and Miles in the same room and be like, are they not the same person? Maybe they're the same person. I can't prove it. So it's easy for people who've didn't do a lot of research. They're not engaging with the team and in the Discord on the daily. Like I am like, no one is up the team's ass further than I am probably. Like the only people's DMs I leave alone are like Miles and Ryan's and like, let them work. But still like the teams they bust their ass. Like they're and like the project and the idea is like it's innovative. So like as the Decentraland grows and like people with advertising dollars are like, oh, like I need an advertising presence in there. Like no one is better positioned to like take advantage of it. And like as ice poker players, you're literally like directly getting to benefit from that. So I don't know. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. I'm really excited this will line up well because like there was a good stretch of time when you started being like, hey, like, would you think about talking to me? Where I was like kind of funny and like, I don't know, man. Like I love the team, but like this is my doubts, because it's like easy to have doubts. Like I can sympathize with people who have like doubts because
it's an idiot. Okay to have doubts. It would be weird not to have them.
Yeah.
But look, this is crazy. But every time I've ever doubted DG in the past, their weekly update newsletter would be like a reassurance pat in the back, like, dude, you're good. Just read this. And then boom, they would deliver right away.
Yeah,
Like
no,
this is a
agreed.
very consistent team when it comes to delivering product.
Yeah, I mean, but it's yeah, 100%. But it's like it's so easy for people to like hyper focus on like the thing they feel like an expert in and like get nitpicky on things. So like it's like and then like and I don't know, I read all of I read all of it, so I'm just like like I don't know. But yeah, no, I agree with you that whenever not Miles is very like good at like communicating and like you're like okay yeah they have a plan, they're executing it like that's the thing that they also because they do a really good job of making you feel like they hear the community and listen to them. But then like sometimes there's just people who are like squeaky wheels crying about how they need to like nerf ice earnings that you're just like no like don't like co-sign that just because like hey there's I don't know like by the time this release maybe it changed but at this point there are two things in the backlog that have already been passed to like adjust like the ice burn to earn ratio because there's going to be like the banked ice for owners and then they're going to adjust how the leaderboard works where like everyone in the bottom five who get zero like they're just going to be like removed from the calculation so like 5% less people will like make top five in each bracket so it's like which is like fine like I dig making it like a little a little nerfing but like now there's like owners who are like, oh, I've got a bunch of wearables, and like if they don't lower this, like I'll be upset. So it's like, listen, man, there's already two things like going into this change. Like, let's do it, get some more data, and then adjust because like we're in a bear market. Like things are probably just going to go down because like even like no matter how well a job the team does, like if everything else is going down, he was gonna be like, well, fuck, like, I might as well sell my ice to go buy this Ethereum, like. Because like even though the last week's been nice and everything's been on the up, like I don't know. I strongly suspect we're not out of the bear market yet because people are still talking about are we out of the bottom? Like too many people are looking for it. Like you have to have given up hope. That's when you're at the bottom. When like half of the people left looking are like, guys, it's time to go home. Like I was wrong. That's when we're there. Okay, so just stop looking for it. You're never gonna find it until you've like, So, but
like I'm not an expert, but I do know what a bear trap is, and this feels like one.
That said, I'm the world's worst person at making money, so perhaps me declaring there's no way this isn't the bottom is
the bottom.
Like that's perfectly possible. Like I'm cool with that. Like guys, perhaps hedge against me
We
saying
will know in the near future, Jared.
yeah.
For sure. Like in the near future, we can revisit this.
Yeah. By the time this airs, we might know. Like, oh, sure, it was really wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
let me ask something. You were talking about DG and
yeah, I just remember the question you asked me. The question was, how did I get into crypto?
yeah, the central end. I'm assuming you jumped into the central end because of the poker plays.
No, I didn't actually. I'd like bought into NFTs. I was like, like I'm gonna take all the money I'm using on like NFT tournaments because I'd done pretty good at the beginning of the quarantine. Like I'd hit like 5K in one tournament, and like I've been like it's sustained for a while. So I was like feeling myself like, yeah, I'm gonna like play tournaments like while I work in my stay at home job thing here, and like, but then like I wasn't putting in nearly enough work to be good at poker, and everyone else was like, oh look, all these idiots think they can play poker all this thing. How so the actual poker players just came and like devoured us because. I'm just constantly looking for like where's the casualist group of poker players? Like I can be the best player in the group of people who don't want to be good at poker. But if you want to be good at poker, you're gonna fucking kill me. But no, but I'd left Twitter poker and I had gone to first I was like I got into Dapper Dinos, but like that just was like that community was like way too like we're gonna make it. I'm like, yeah, like we'll definitely bring these garbage dinosaurs with like no real vision for a game and like a weird tokenomics to ETH. But so I like got in and like I managed to get out and break even barely on that project. And then like one of the people there though was the community manager was like super chill and she worked for the Rocking Unicorns, which everyone knows the trues. So she even like, oh, like come mint this thing. So like I minted like numbers like 10, 11, and 12 for the trues. And then I went on, I think I saw like 6 or 7 of them. So it was through the trues I came to Decentraland. But then I discovered Decentral Games, and now I just do that.
This is like this would be how long ago before you jumped into like?
I mean, I think like I joined Decentraland in like October, November, 2001, 2001, 2020, 2021.
2021.
Yeah, I think that was, yeah, I
I
think.
don't know.
Yeah, no, I lucked out for me because like having worked on like like it's so funny because like I don't think of anything I've ever done was that exceptional. Like, but like having just been on a television law, like someone had just seen like, so I shared some photo, so like altcoin radio's like, this guy works on TV, like I like he's on the Late Late Show, like I own like his the DCL name for that show, like maybe he can help me sell it or something stupid because like I definitely couldn't possibly. I shared like an elevator with James Corden once. He was perfectly lovely, by the way. I'm not like here to defend James Corden against all the
This is
internet.
when you were working camera, right?
Camera utility, like it was like it's like helping set up like where monitors are, where some cameras will be, like if there's some cameras set up, like helping make sure cameras can get where they need to be, like in studio. It's kind of like the super easiest thing, like 95% of the time, and then like hella stressful when you're like trying to do like a band setup. But anyway, so someone like just saw that, so like, oh, like I want to like hang out with this dude, which is like, I'm like, okay, like I try to be honest, I'm like, I can't help you at all, but um, if you want to like hang out. So that was just why. That's why like people like always like, oh, Jared, like you're an OG. You've been here since like 2020, right? I'm like, or like at least March of 2021. I feel like March of 2021 is when OG status is. But then I'm like, no, like, not really. But thanks. I'm trying to learn everything, catch up, and learn everything I can. But I've not been here as long as half of the OGs. I don't like the OGs. I feel like that's like really not a healthy mentality to have. Like
Uh, I don't know what makes you an OG in the Central End, but
like if it's the people we don't even know. That's who it is. That's if it, like no one on the ground floor.
also
That
Atlanta, maybe those are OGs. I would go over there. Like,
the dudes over on who are the guys who make Rovi? Oh, I Meta. No, what? I'm forgetting the Rovi team's name right now. It's so disrespectful because like they're the nicest guys. They make great content. Have you seen those guys? That team?
the Rovi people. No,
Yeah,
I've seen their NFTs, like their weird little Robux, but
yeah. I mean the art
more than
style, whatever. But the dudes have some really good content, and like they're the nicest. Like when I was on co-hosting like a stream with Nay on Twitch, like we were talking to those dudes, and like they were talking about like being here since like before grass. So like those dudes are OG. If you were here before Decentraland had grass,
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Tell me more of your stories.
Grass grew in the Central End when the Central End was a wasteland.
Yeah, they're like,
That
I
makes you
saw the first sunrise. You're like, okay, shit, that's an OG. Like,
old.
like Bence Varga, is that the right that guy's an OG. Like I was like shit talking the like loading launch area with the columns and stuff, and
Yeah,
being
no,
like,
I was allowed to go there. Like
and he was
he's an OG. Like he was the one who created the
he's like,
fucking
well, when I made it, we didn't have the events tab or this. I'm just trying to help out here. Like, I'm like, oh, that's very. I can see how in hindsight.
I apologize, good sir.
Yeah, because like that's what I said. Like, well, I'm not trying to disrespect because he made the Infinity Engine, which I knew, but it's like on the top of the list. So what I feel like must have happened is he made that column, but he's like, well, I can't put myself at the best spot. Like he's being humble. Like he put himself out of view. Like if his project was the like first thing people clicked on when they came to Decentraland, I wouldn't even question that column. Infinity Engine, where I don't know if you've ever actually gone and played it. It's amazing. You go, and you're in a mine, you're mining some gold, you're like collecting, like there's a timer running. When the timer runs out, you have to run up and get on a train, and then you get off into the Infinity. And this was made in 2020 too. This is the stuff Broomway is using and Wilderness is using now for their battle. And like you're on a train and you're getting like chased by like you've seen the clip of cowboys on horses chasing a train. You have. You don't realize that it's from this project. You're like, this was made in 2020, like March of 2020.
Yeah, the game where you were shooting the.
Yeah, he's like, there's like a little pistol for the.
The cowboy. Yeah. I tried to play it, but it didn't work.
Ew, yeah, that was your bad internet because that works, sir.
I think it was my crappy computer back then. Like,
you should go back now that you've upgraded your status.
I'll jump and check it out.
And does the Central, is this sponsored by the Central Games? Can we get them to send you like let's get you what are the sweet internet from Elon? Let's get you some
Starlink. No, it's not. Yeah. It's not an internet thing. It was the computer. It was a piece of shit.
Let's just send you 16 gigabytes of RAM. We'll get this going. But yeah, with three unique rocking unicorns, you should go mint their stuff and support artists. They're doing cool things, even though I don't hang out there anymore.
Yeah, and that's how you jump into the Central Land. You missed
Yeah,
it.
that was the first time I went. The I got into wearables because I was I can't remember if I know I had been gambling at the Central Games Casino, and I had like ran up a bunch of mana. So like I took that mana and then went and like snagged some face fashion Mishi Todd made, Anthony Sims wearables. I'm just trying to remember. That was like no, I could look up. I guess like it was like November 11th. I got like my first wearable. That was my I don't know. That was when I feel like some people are like, oh, you're not a Decentraland citizen, or you don't have like until you have a name. That's your like your day. But I feel like you get that like first taste of a wearable, like that really does like. Oh, that's what it was actually. There was the MetaZoo was doing the toga party. It was like the Waifuman toga party. When did you join Decentraland?
I joined the Central Land in this is 2023 now. I joined the Central Land in November 2021.
Okay, so you could have potentially been. Was it the beginning or the middle or did you go to the MetaZoo toga party where you could get the toga and the like wreath they
No,
sold for
no,
free?
I was not there.
Oh, well, you just missed out because
I did see.
that would have probably
I
destroyed the
have
whole
seen it.
computer.
Like I know what you're talking about because
Yeah.
I've seen the wearable and I saw a bunch of people wearing it, but I don't think I don't think no. I'm pretty sure I was not a part of that. But you know what? We can check my polls. What was
Yeah.
there a poll machine at the event?
There was definitely a POAP for sure, yeah.
Let me check.
But yeah, there had to be for sure. I remember there was like multiple Pepes. This was where I was still like, isn't Pepe just racist? I thought Pepe was racist.
My first pull up is from the hatching of the baby penguins from Penguin Fight Club, and it's from November 27. And then I
Okay.
have one from the same day from King Mizo. Oh no, from the same day, no, from the 29th of November in Alcon Radio. This is the first time I ever saw him. So let's say I joined the Central End at some point in the first week or second week of November.
Okay. So yeah,
You know,
you just missed it then. But that was that they when I got that like that taste of the free outfit, I was like, oh man, I need to like I need a whole. I don't know. I didn't realize like I didn't know that almost like I've never been a like go into the game and like fashion out like that's never been. But I got that first hit of like free wearable. And I was like, oh, like I own this. This is mine. And like I looked at their stores to like buy something, and it was like because mana was pretty pricey. Because again, I entered crypto at an all-time highs. So like they had, but all their other stuff is like 50 mana, like 100 mana, like because like I think a lot of their stuff had been priced when mana was more around these prices because the fluctuates. Like nowadays, I was re-looking at some of their stuff. I'm like, man, I should get the MetaZoo stuff while like mana's still like 30 cents or
when,
whatever.
when I first was told about minting a name, mana was so high that I was like, no, fuck this, I'm not
Yeah,
minting it.
dude, it was costly. I remember like it was prohibitive at the time. I
It was
remember being
expensive. It
quite
was
strapped when I got Jar0d. And I'm very annoyed at my name, my Decentraland name now because I then went to get the because I got it all capitalized because like well like I'm neurotic and I just wanted it to be like look like it should. But then I went to get the ENS and like they're just have to be lowercase. So now it's just like stuck. Now I'm like, well, okay, I've learned to accept lowercase Jar0d with a zero as like a visual thing. So now the like if I ever have branding, which I fucking hate even considering as a human being, but like I can't. It's inconsistent. I can't have it.
when like you came into the Central and then like let's say October 2021. When did you get your first DG Werewolf time wise? Like let's make a timeline from that the moment you jumped until
Well,
now.
Dom from Altcoin Radio had delegated me something, so and I played for like one day, and like I had like a good first day. Like the first day I 2x, and I think I just got lucky. Like it wasn't like I did anything particular, and also people were just terrible. I am like I have done math problems of poker hands, so like I have put in more thought into it than a lot of people, especially back then. So, but I got like my first days. I didn't earn experience points, so I was like, oh, like because at that point the market wasn't flooded with level fives. Like you couldn't like people like cherished experience points. Like you were like excited. Like they gave out 1/3 as many. Like a player could only earn you like You get 5x. You get like each wearable gets experience points now. When I started, like it was the player. So like one dude did good for you. That was 6 XP.
Like, what do you mean? Like, when you first were delegated? Like, just let me see if I understood this right. Because the first time, like, since I came to the Central End until I was first delegated to poker, like it was a long time.
Oh well, it was probably December. I think it was like that December.
No. Like for me, I've been I've been playing for like 2 months after I became. Remember when you delegated me first time? Like you delegated me once, and I was not able to play.
That sounds right. That sounds like a lot of people.
Not a lot. No, it was. This was a long time ago. And you know who connected me with you? Thursday and Mila.
Nice. No, I mean that's right. That's okay. I do remember now. Yes.
It
Yeah.
was. I'm talking a long time ago. Okay, they were my first delegators. Okay, and the
Since
first time
having
they,
since left the Central Land community, but yeah.
yeah, they left the Central Line community. Shout out to both of them.
Hopefully they find their happiness somewhere, and then hopefully we can all grow up and like make something worth hanging out in, and they come back. But like,
Yeah, yeah,
nothing
yeah.
but love, nothing but love. They're good people, definitely, and hopefully they crush
They-
life.
yeah, they're very 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 cool people. So like when you were delegated, there was no experience points.
No, there were experience points. You just only like because nowadays, how, like each wearable, like the more you stack wearables on a person, the more
Okay,
experience points they'll earn.
yeah.
So like when I played, like you'd get experience points, but you get like 6. I think was the cap, like for a day, like for one person, no matter how many wearables they had, you'd get like 6 experience points. So I played like one day, and I was like, oh, this is amazing, because like I took my ice and I like went to the casino and I like I ran it up a bit. It was a good time. And then the next day, I was just like, oh man, I can't. And then on top of that, like, I just didn't enjoy the thought of like I like to play. Like I just want to gamble sometimes. Like I don't want to be like beholden to somebody else to be like have to try. Like that's extra stress. Like the only person I want to be irritated I lost is me. So like then like day 3, I was just like, sorry man, I'm just gonna get one. So I got I got the party host captain's hat because I believe it was just before the 3rd mint that I had entered.
But you minted it or you bought it
No,
on
no,
sale?
no, no. I bought it for 0.71. It was 0.71 was my first ice wearable for the captain's hat.
It was when it was minting was 0.75.
No, I mean that was still that would have still been like the that would have been like 0.25. I think whoever minted that probably made like some good money. They probably like almost 3x their investment. Early minters, dude, made bank. There was someone somewhere made a lot of money. I'll tell you what. I hope they needed it, man.
Okay, so after you bought a what it was at the moment an overpriced
No,
werewolf,
no, no. I mean, it wasn't. I disagree. The floor quickly rose from there.
or yeah, because
I have
no,
no.
I was gonna tell like for you it may have been overpriced, but truth be told, you bought at a good price
I
because
never.
the floor rose like.
I never minted any of the good priced mints though. I failed. A couple of them were just like user error. Like I didn't understand like when to like that it needed to refresh for ones, and then there was the one where you didn't need to refresh anymore. And I think I refreshed and streamed my like it was just I just didn't do a good job of staying diligent in the Discord to stay up to date. Like I was new, there was a lot to catch up on. So like I think just those early mints are just why I never leave Discord. I'm like they're never gonna say something important that's going to cost me money again. I will not miss another one. And then, of course, I didn't like mint the Mutant Cartel Pass, which just makes me mad. So I was like, no, I'm not. What do you mean my crown utility is pay this person for their thing? That was a mistake. That was silly. I have hindsight of 2020. I will from now on just mint whatever Decentral Games tells me to. Because I'm
Yeah,
like, well, obviously someone there put some thought into this, and they've all demonstrated themselves to be much more intelligent crypto minds than myself. I'll just trust them on this.
just gonna mint this shit and that's it.
And if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna sleep on Sauce's couch. That's what's sorry. That's the plan. My backup plan is if everything else goes to total shit. Hey Sauce, let's go.
Hey, Sals, how big is your couch?
I hear it's good. I can't remember what person on the team confirmed, but they reassured me.
So Jared, and so you jump into the Central Games community.
Yes.
You started building up your wearable closet, let's say, and then there was a point in that period of time, at least from my perspective, where you became kind of controversial within the community and like Twitter community and the Central community.
I mean, I was briefly blocked by like at least half of you people.
No, no, no. And don't ever include me. I have never blocked anybody. I take pride on that. Except scamming bullshit people.
Yeah.
I don't block people. You know,
You know
like
who else doesn't block people? Tang Poco. She's told me she thinks blocking people is absurd. I'm
no.
just like,
What's the
well,
point?
well,
What's the point? Like,
she thinks it's like immature. As I think her words. She's
yeah,
just
it's unless they are sending you dick pics on daily basis, you know, then
no,
why
you're
block?
supposed to retweet those, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
isn't the best way to make sure no one sends you dick pics to share them with like the public? I would assume like that'd be the last thing I would want you to do with it. You're like, whoa, that was a gift for you. That was a present.
Photoshop it and make it smaller, and then share them.
Yeah, please cherish it. But no, yeah. I mean, still sometimes a little bit. I think I was misunderstood. Yes. To answer your question, yeah, I would say that that's a fair description.
But would you say that that perspective came from like the way I see it is this: like it takes two to get into a fight, and people in Twitter are just ruthless. Like they will just come at you just for the way they interpreted a message. You know, like it's not even
Yeah,
what
I
you
mean,
wrote; it's what they interpreted about it.
I think we're all guilty of that though. Like no one is innocent of not like misreading something and going, like I think that's. But yeah, for sure, you're right. I think in writing, I think communication tends to be worse. I mean, like the other thing is that like I have wicked ADD, so like I much prefer writing in written communication, even though I tend to be much more like ruthless because I got a chance to think about it because like I can see the thing you said. It's sitting there like with my ADD. Like if we're talking, like I'm lucky sometimes, and spoke to a tweet, but it's mostly the ADHDs. Bad working memory. Oftentimes, I am lucky if I can remember the start of what you said by the time you get to the end of it. So I'm just like, if you talk for like too long, that's half the reason I'm so interrupty. I think is just because I'm like, okay, I got a thing to say, and I'm gonna forget where we are right now by the time you get another two sentences down the
But
road.
the thing about written messages is that like as long as you're writing to someone who understands that what they're reading is just a written message and whatever they're feeling about the message it's coming from them,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
because I mean, like when I'm talking to people I feel comfortable with, I do speak as extremely as I write. It's just when you hear the tone of voice of like, like, man, that's got to be the dumbest thing anyone has ever said. Like, it doesn't sound quite as harsh. I feel like, like, you know, you're like
Yeah.
Jesus. I'm, I'm, I'm sorry that the rocks in your brain have you looking in the mirror and seeing something like a moron. It doesn't sound quite as hurtful when I say it out loud. But like at the same time, like when I'm not writing, I'm like I don't have the opportunity to reread it to be sure that I'm confident enough I want to hit that hard with my reply. I guess maybe. So perhaps I should just live my life without written communication because like there's not it's not usually beneficial to my overall aims and goals when I get irritated with someone and I just want to like I have this is gotta get the last word sometimes, and that's a flaw. That's a flaw, and I know many people know that because like San and I think was like, man, you'd be really great. You didn't always need to get the last word in. That'd be great. Would really take things down a notch. I'm like, yeah, but they're wrong, and I gotta tell him, San. And he said, you don't need to do that, man. You'd be happier if you didn't.
I think people sometimes just take shit too personally in Twitter. Like they just make everything their own problem. And I feel that there's a lot of people
That's true. I agree with that. I 100%.
drama out of anything. I can tell you from personal experience. Like recently, I had a personal issue with someone because I was dealing with someone. Like let's say you and me, we make a deal, and you haven't come through with your end, right?
Right.
And then you're demanding your payment. And then I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You haven't delivered. And then you know what? And then you decide to just go to one of my friends and tell him like, hey, dude, just make him pay me. Like, like what the fuck? There's just like I think Web3 allows people to reach out to others. There's no boundaries, or it's harder to set boundaries. And then you have the wild cards. Like for instance, in this scenario, this random dude went to my friend and told him this, and my friend, instead of coming to me and asking me what happened, he just like went crazy with me. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Remember I told you I was recently blocked? This is the person I'm telling you. Like, he
Yeah,
blocked me out of this, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
yeah, I definitely agree that people don't do a good job of seeing like both sides of any like altercation.
Yeah, like I think some people don't give a fuck. They just
Because
want
like
to.
because people are just like because the space because when I got into Centerland, it was I feel like toxic positivity was like an issue. People would just be like, what you're like you disagree, like you an issue, like that's ridiculous, man. Like why are you having a contrary opinion? It wasn't even like necessarily rude, which is like no, like we are gonna make it. It's great, everyone's happy. It's like oh, like like hey, you know, some number of people are being paid to be here. Some people aren't. Like I think like it's not a, I was, I think things like kind of like got out of control or like just misinterpreted and like, and I definitely think I am responsible for a portion of any miscommunicating since, I can be reactive and impulsive in my, responses because just because I'm funny
I
doesn't
think we
mean
all can. I think just people tend to forget that there's a person on the other side of the screen, and they just fucking go crazy. Like I don't know if this has ever happened to you. But, like you bump into people in the Central and who are so nice to you, and then on Twitter they're just the meanest people around in the world. Like it's like they're two different people controlling the same name and avatar. Like in Twitter they're douchebags, and in the Central end they're nice.
I
So
don't talk to that many people in the Central End anymore. That I think about it because like the chatting system is really like just put me off. It's really like I don't know. It's so hard to hold a good conversation at the Central End.
it is.
I hope it like continues to evolve. Like I'm glad they're trying things, but like I've really like the way the UI now sets up. It's like I don't know. I really have a hard time following conversations or like and like half the time you'll mute a tab, because you're trying to like multitask, play your poker, listen to your music, mine some rocks, listen to your music. So like you don't even hear the notifications anymore, and it's not like popping up in that like like it should just I don't know. I can't fix it, so I feel like rude, and I can't think of a way to articulate like good improvement. I'm sure there are people listening to this going, "Oh, you're an idiot. This is the way you should fix it." I'm like, okay, good for you. But I can't fix it, and I don't know how to suggest to make it better. I hate shitting on it, but man, I hate it. It just doesn't work.
I think they're just experimenting with the chat and the chatting system because
Eventually, we're all just gonna be talking anyway. Like they're gonna get like proximity chat down, like on point, and like it'll be like super easy to just like, "Hey, you're at this table. You five are talking in voice chat if you want to." And you're like, perfect, okay, sweet. Which still won't always work because, like, I mean, like, I don't know what, like, I'm sure some people's written English is just much easier for them than trying to like keep up with me, like, talking at 65 miles a minute. So.
Like, oh, Jared. Now, bro, at what point did you decide to just jump into branding your your name and your content? And just let's stop for a second before. Why the NFT bird? Like, why?
I needed to get my crown.
I need it.
And the original utility for the no, first off, hold on. Use it NFT birds. That's my PFP. The NFT birds, which are crushing it right now, they're through the moon. The floor has finally done something right after I sold most of mine. You're welcome, guys. But the NFT birds is my PFP. That's not my NFTs. My NFTs are the Flex Flock, which the reason I made the Flex Flock was because the NFT birds are actually like traditionally like that was like the prove me wrong. That's the first open source code in NFTs. Until someone can prove me wrong, that's a statement of fact. It's so
based on my research, they are
the
first
like,
open source.
Yeah, so like Thugbirds, like on Soul is based off them, which like had like a 40 Soul floor at one point. Like lots, like hundreds of projects have used their code or like other aspects. So I was like, oh, I just have to like use my PFP to make more PFPs out of like honor. But then the main reason that was like I needed to raise some ice capital. Like when I upgraded my first level 4 to level 5, it was ice was 10 cents. It cost like was like $1,250 to like make that upgrade. Like that's ridiculous. You can buy like 4 level 1s off the floor right now probably more, maybe five, or who knows?
Okay.
Maybe there's been a sweep and it's only two at this point when this airs. Who
Yeah.
knows? But currently, like, so like it was ridiculous. So I was just like, okay, what can I do? And the ice poker community has always been a pretty solid shit posting, meme community on Twitter. So I was just like, I'll sell like 0.5, 0.1, zero 0.3. I think even at the time it was lower when I started. But I'll sell some of these bad boys, and then I'll use that to make ice. And like I was honest with it. Like I did, like this isn't a rug. I was like the original utility promised was, and that's why I made the shirts. I made these shirts to go with the NFTs. I was like, listen, you buy one, you'll get one shirt. And I will tell one person to go fuck themselves for you. If you buy two, you'll get the legendary item, and then you'll get refills on your go fuck yourselves as long as you use it responsibly. Like if you told me to go tell Sauce to fuck off and it was complete, like it was justified, I'd have considered it. But generally speaking, I don't do that. You don't like it. He's a hardworking man. He does not deserve to be disrespected.
It was in my opinion one of the best project utilities ever offered to the public and audience ever.
But I have since updated the utility. The utility is you could probably should still send out the shirts, but the description and promise for any existing new purchasers is just that I will make proposals for you, and essentially I don't promise a yes vote, but I will make the proposal for you.
Are no longer offered? Like you're no longer telling people to fuck off?
No, that has been since retracted. I will still OG holders who remember who are like whoa, sorry, but I've since updated the description on the OpenSea page.
On the OpenSea page.
Yeah, now I just promise to tell people to that I will make proposals for them in the Central Game DAO. I'll retweet if you want to flex lock and you want if you want to retweet, I'll get you at least one. But don't be too spammy about it. But generally speaking, I try to follow everybody and and remember to retweet them.
That's good. It's good that you keep up with what you promised. Like most NFT projects don't.
Yeah, that's something that I think the Central Games and I have in common. We set goals we can maintain. Okay, they are brilliant and well funded. They set bigger goals, but it's things that you manage the scope of your project, don't overinvest, and you can accomplish it. And I think that's what I tried to accomplish with my.
Nice. Let me ask you something on the side before we start wrapping it up. Were you ever able to get the stateless glasses?
Yes, I would. That's so weird that you asked me about that. I've been wanting to. I was thinking I should ask you about that. More people need to know about stateless glasses. I actually own two pairs because I bought one off the floor for 15 mana at some point. But I got my own pair legitimately.
You got of them. They're given to creators, right?
No, it's do you not have one?
No, I don't have one.
I don't think it has nothing to do with. I don't think selling things is an actual requirement. I think you have to. I still don't know, and that's what's so bloody frustrating. I just had been because I thought it was about sales, so I was tweeting I remember when I was doing my when I went for top creator of the month, I was like, guys, I need to get on the top of this list because I assume that's how you get these glasses. And eventually, Stateless was just you're not sales isn't the thing you're missing. But I know I don't know if it's running down the roads, stateless roads, or just taking the stateless avenues places. But it's engaging with that is I know a key element. So one day I just ran all the way down Stateless Street, which is definitely not, I don't think it's named, but that's what I call it. And then I took a couple avenues around just to and I don't know if last time I went to check it out, it wasn't working, but I know in the past, if you have the glasses on and you're looking at the stateless expresses, you can see yourself as you're dressed on the billboard.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just a cool it's not
I know what I'm gonna do right after we.
Yeah. No, it's I think everyone there's only 1,000 of them. It's if you want it that should be that's OG. Okay, stateless glasses. If you have stateless glasses, I will you are co-signed OG, right? That should be it. Because
that sounds.
What's more OG than having built the goddamn roads, man?
With your own land.
Yeah, that's gangster. At first I remember getting here and be oh, it's so lame and tacky that someone's put billboards up everywhere. But because there's some people in places that are lame about it, where they're just oh, someone put something cool here. I'm gonna put my land as some fucking trash. But to have the vision and like faith in Decentraland to be like, no, this is going to be so huge one day that we need roads. I will be the dude with roads. It's like that's badass. Like that's a like that is a level of conviction that I don't know so necessarily I've ever had in any investment besides perhaps DG, where you're just like, I will build roads and they will come. Like
They will come. They shall come.
If I build it, they will come. Okay,
It's like, yeah. And I can imagine something like, no, I just built the road to connect my two lands.
Yeah, but I do think buying something in the marketplace might be essential to getting stateless things. Like I feel like engaging in the full like elements of the economy or like of Decentraland or
I will have to check. Like I will. Like I haven't checked myself, to be honest with you, in my glasses if I have them. Like I'm gonna have to check.
Well, you can go to. I mean, let me.
I don't think I have them, to be honest.
Okay, you can literally just go to. I'll literally link you to Stateless Vision. Like the website, the page will just have your name in it if you do or don't.
Okay, just send it over and I'll get it done.
I don't think so. There's no PIX in there, so I think you're. So far, it's been 175 glasses have been dropped. The order of the name changes around from time to time. I don't really know what the logic there is. But yeah, like I'm trying to see, because it's like it's hard to tell because like so many of the names are creators and sellers, but like I don't think. And you also sell stuff in the store, so like you should definitely be able to get it. Yeah.
Let me ask you something else now. Let's go back to the flex flock for a second. You told me the flex flock you created to be able to upgrade your werewolves.
Yeah, I had to raise ice. I had to get that crown. The crown
get that crown. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I mean, it's so weird. Like they're like, oh, Jared, you work in television. You must be just like, no, man. Like I've lived my life to like work to live, don't live to work. Right? Is that the right way to say it? So like I've never like I wasn't like just I don't know. I'm not a stack cash and like just go. I'm just like okay. I've worked enough. I can live the next month just like enjoying my life. So like I think people would just assume like, oh, you don't need to. You should just be able to afford infinite ice and all the upgrades you want. Like you've got 21 wearables. You must be loaded. Like I mean, look, I'm willing to stay in this like pretty like very modest accommodations with my like life in boxes still. Like I'm obviously not like a fucking prissy rich dude. I had to hustle myself some ice to make sure I got my crown.
Yeah, I remember Neela and Torsi also kind of doing something similar.
Man, hell yeah, it's a good idea. Like no, you're like shoot, because like no one saw that like final crown. Like everyone wanted a crown, but everyone was like the initial like go was pretty light. And I actually had a deal with like another crown guy who was like, listen, man, like when we get close, I'll hit you up with whatever ice you don't have. You'll be fine. I'm like, bro, like I don't know, like I really would like crown 69. I think that'd be hilarious. Actually. Fun fact, I got crown 70, but shout out to Biz and Gravy. He was a man of the people and was like, he's like, I don't care if I have this childish number. And, you seem to be really passionate about it.
You seem to be caring about a lot. So you get 69. 69 is a good crown number.
Yeah, it's just the fun. It's like it's just, who of the crowns is the childish meme, the meme name here? It's gotta be me. Though Integrity could put a bit in. He puts in the work. Mad respect to him. But oh no, what were we just talking about? Oh yeah, selling flex locks to get the crown. But yeah, Howard, Matthew. Now he went by Howard for the longest time, but he's now going by his real name. But Matthew had offered. He's like, listen, when we get close, like you gotta have a crown. Crown of the people. And it's like I appreciate you saying that, but I'm not gonna rest on my laurels. So appreciate it. And like shout out to Miles and Ryan, my. I think Miles had bought an IPG NFT first, which I don't know if you remember IPG. He's gone and dead. Let's not bring him up again. But I was just like, wait a minute. First off, I'm putting way more work. His art is fire art. I made mine myself. But eventually, I made my way into because like that was so that was which if you think about it. Because what was ETH like at peak ETH was like $3,500. So like a quarter ETH wasn't even like enough to upgrade like level 4 to 5 at like
Yeah.
getting a crown peak. Like anyone who has a crown, like they put in so much. Like, and I don't know, and like I can't complain. Like the reason I don't complain is because like half or more of the flex block holders are like DG team members, so it's like to like to complain about like paying for how much it costs to upgrade my crown would be like ridiculous. I'm like the community, like, and then the rest, the other half are other crowns and like scepters. So like none of the ones that have left so far, they're all dicks. So like to be disrespectful to like to complain, it just would be like kind of silly. So
No.
especially I think the long term vision is good. Like it's not just like happy to like coast to the grave. I'm like there's a reason I started buying items again this week. I'm like, okay, this is the time to like actually sell everything I'm not like enjoying and like put it into the thing I know the most about and like have faith in. So
To be honest with you, for a while, I've only been buying like like Dolce and Gabbana werewolves
I have
and
those. I got I got it, like
ice poker werewolves. That's it.
that's funny. Just the two DGs. You're like, I need all the DG.
Every DG thing I find I buy. That's it.
Yeah. No.
Like Dolce and Gabbana as well. I think they like right now we're in the bear market. Right when like I think at some point this will be collectibles. All
Yeah,
the
I think
Dolce.
that's a reasonable hypothesis. I think
Yeah.
that I don't think that's a bad. I think as like plays go, like one of the like because like they're like the designer goods. Like I love my Louis Vuitton wallet. Like designer goods are collectibles. It's like for people in NFTs who are like try to like disrespect like that designer space or something like or like how Louis Vuitton like burns a product. Which don't get me wrong is like as a human living on a planet. Like what Louis Vuitton is kind of disgusting. Like burning the goods. Like there's poor people out there, and you're selling a wallet for $500. Don't get me wrong. Lots of ethical reasons to kind of be sus. But like as an NFT person spending an ETH on a JPEG, like to not like kind of understand the like appeal of limited edition or burning the rest of the supply. Like who hasn't been like, hey, like what if to save this mint we just burn everything they haven't like so like I don't know. If you don't get like the appeal in the Dolce & Gabbana, like when those people finally catch up and are here, they're gonna be like, wait, I can get OG like Dolce & Gabbana or Louis. Like, has Louis Vuitton made an NFT yet? I feel like I'd have heard about it, but
No, I've heard something about collaborations, but I never saw anything.
those would be so. I'm
I
sure
think
they'd be
like
obnoxiously.
Dolce and Gabbana,
Yeah,
brands like this were the first ones like cost, but I haven't seen Louis Vuitton, Nike,
yeah.
Adidas, all these brands, but
You
not
got the Curry flows, right?
huh?
You got the DCL Curry shoes, right?
The DCL what?
The Steph Curry DCL shoes.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on! You gotta go. They're pretty cheap, actually. I'll probably be sad if I like look up the price.
I think the ones that look like Converse.
No, they're like greenish.
Oh, I would have to let me go
I
to my
mean,
profile account and check it out.
you,
Tell you.
how would you not know if you had? You would know. You would know. They're pretty cheap. Let me hold on. So, oh shit! The floor. I'm sad because the floor now is like 150. It looks like. But when I got for the longest time, the floor was like because they're a rare, so there's like 5,000 of them.
Uh,
Genesis flows.
what are they called?
The Genesis Curry Curry. If you just search Curry in listings, you'll find them. They're not even that cool. They're fine. They're a fine shoe. They don't go with anything I own. I don't know.
I don't have them.
You're missing out. You missed it. See, there you go. It's so funny. Like for the longest time, everything I owned just was like, nope, didn't go off. But now these are cool.
I don't have them. I do have a lot of crazy werewolves though, but I don't have that.
Yeah,
I don't like shoes. Like to be honest with you, I don't collect shoes that much. I focus myself
that's
on.
a mistake. I don't actually believe it. My shoe collection in Decentraland isn't nearly that big. But sneakerheads are crazy, dude. Like,
yeah.
That's why.
No, but don't get me wrong. I do have a good shoe collection. I don't focus my attention on them. The way I see it, I already found my like forever shoes in the central end. The Hella Reach boots. Have you seen them? Like I'm always wearing them, either yellow or blue. I
You
wear
do multiple colors.
cowboy boots, and I wear your shoes. You know, that's pretty much my shoe.
There's one too many of my faces on the $5 shoes, I think. I asked someone else and they're like, no, it's great. I'm like, I don't know, man. I just feel like there's one too many of faces on my shoe. Like the back face is too many. I think X went over one too many faces. I should have reined him back. He's like, this guy loves his face. I'm putting it everywhere. He's
No,
not
but
wrong. I do. I love my PFP, but
overall, it was a whole collection. Like it was like a 5 piece collection you launched in the marketplace, right? It
yeah,
was
July.
Lucky the Lights, Mythics.
Yeah, well,
Better.
the Epic shirt and the sweater had been around forever. But then in July there was the Yanakis pants, which were the three sets. There was the two legendaries, the white and the black, and then the mythic gold ones.
Hmm.
Uh, then there was the Nikki Fuego shirt, which still two left of those, I think, or did that one sell out? The pants, Yanakis' pants have finally the mythics have sold out. And then there was the next one over made me some mythic pink shoes that I think are dope. They say flock on them. Uh, Someone once said they look like bowling shoes, and now part of me can't get that in my head. But then when I like re-look at the like nice designer shoes that they're based off, I'm like, no, they look exactly like the nice designer shoe I like, as in the model them off of. Which I guess I don't know if that's copyright infringement. But regardless, the silhouette is what I wanted, and it's just like, damn you, get out of my head. And
No,
then the other mythic was the Doki mythics, which I've only sold one pair of those to Alec because he's a believer. Someday those will have utility in some every
Alec,
game.
you mean Supernova?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is he at? 40. I don't know what number he is. Is he number 11 or
It's
those number guys?
zero 44.
He's 044. No, are you sure?
No. He's Supernova, no?
Yeah, but he also has a number. They all have numbers. I don't know. I just, you know,
9 millimeter? No.
he's
99.
not 9 millimeter. No,
99. It's 99.
that's a good
Zero
number.
nine zero 99. Yeah.
If he has 99, that's a quality pickup. I don't get the number thing. Who wants to be called the number name? But like Santa's into it. Like
I don't know
all
if
the Enwiz is into it. Like those people know how to make money. So like I should
it
just
has
shut up and assume it's correct.
Stranger Things, girl.
Like the more I talk about how something doesn't make sense, if people who seem to know how to make money are buying it, go all in. Because I don't know. Whatever I think of the opposite is what makes money. So.
Yo, Jared, let me ask you something just to wrap it up. Um, if this was, if there was like a newbie, let's say a first time user for the Central Games venues or for the Central Land, what would you advise them? Like, what would be your piece of advice for them? Uh, I ask you this because I know you like your games in the Central Land. So, what would you give them, or what would your advice be to a person in the Central
I
Land?
mean, I guess it would depend. Like, if they're here to play, if like, what are they here to do? Because like, my advice to anyone coming to Central Land is like, hey, listen, adjust your expectations. Like, Ready Player One, like we're gonna do that someday. It's coming, but it's not here yet. So like, if you want to build or you like want to contribute in like the creation of something that's gonna be awesome, like this is the place to hang out. But like, if you just want to if you're just here to take or have a good time and like not really put any thought into it, like come back in a couple years. Like, hey, like there's some fun things to do here. Don't get me wrong, but like ultimately, like the place just needs builders and people who want to help, like encourage the people building and find new ways to contribute and like expand the work being done. Because like Decentraland, it's still really very new, and there's just like so much work to be done before it's ready for just Joe Smith from Albuquerque to like log in and like play 16 hours of racing game. Like I love Roomway, but like at the end of that race, if you mess up, Godzilla's not going to come and eat you. And like when people come to Decentraland, I think a lot of them are just picturing that like Ready Player One race scene. So like we've come a long way in the year I've been here. Like a year ago you could do dick. So like what are we gonna do in a year from now and then a year from that? But like my advice would be like if you don't want to like learn and work, like maybe isn't the place to hang out yet. Which is like kind of a downer, I guess. But like I don't know.
Right now, it's kind of a trust the process type of stuff. Like,
Yeah, it's like it's
you want to hang around and see what happens. That's also good.
yeah, like have like it's a huge gamble. Like absolutely. Like we are like anything like you're gonna find people here who are go on to do amazing things. but like there's no promise that the amazing things that stay in Decentraland because like like this is the next internet. Like is this
Anything can happen.
yeah.
Like
But
it's
like
it's an anything can happen type of
yeah,
scenario.
but if
Where,
you are going to be here, like meet people, like like don't be afraid to like if you see someone make a proposal on the forums and you like it, don't be afraid to go to that person and just be like, "This is the greatest shit I've ever seen. Like I love it. Like I want to support your project." Like they let that will like people are receptive to that. I many friends. That's how I've made them just by going like, I can't control myself, and you have messages open. You're amazing. Please, can we? What should I like get to like support your project to the best of my ability?
yeah, that's a good and actually a very good advice.
Yeah. It's
Like
the one good thing with
actually
ADHD.
engage, to like actually engage with whatever catches your interest.
Yeah, like
Let's say.
if you reach out to someone and they respond like they're better than you or dismissive, like perhaps they're just like super busy and stressed. Because like I know that like I have those days where like like three people are just like, oh, like Jared, what are your thoughts? I need your advice. Give me an opinion. And I'm like, oh fuck, man, like I'm just an idiot. Like, what do you like? Why would anyone want to? So like, don't. I mean, so, but like in general, if a person is just completely dismissive of you and rude, like it's pretty likely that that person is faking everything they have and like aren't confident in themselves and like are or just a shitbag. Like those are the options. Like you know what? So like they did you a favor by like not bringing you into their like nonsense. So like don't take it personal. Don't stress that. Just like keep telling people how awesome they are until someone goes like, "Thank you. I've been waiting for someone to say that. I really appreciate it." Because like everyone needs to be like reaffirmed in their work and like so. Just don't be
Like,
afraid. Tell them
like
you
I
love
was
it.
telling you before, it's good to be reminded always.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like Decentraland is
Someone else
growing.
at the other end.
And Decentraland is growing. It's so small and so new that like every project, if they catch and are successful, like they're gonna 10x. So like if you're interested in this stuff and you want a job, like those opportunities are there. So like, don't go looking to people to like get a job, but like, make friends, like find things you genuinely think are awesome and like opportunities will open up to help them. And like and then you know what, then all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, dude, like in part through your community excitement, we've already helped grow, and now we're like looking for people, and like you've one of the only people who knows how the thing here works because you were here when we made it, and you've like basically helped us QA this project. Would you like a job? Like that's gonna happen to so many people in the next couple of years. Like the people,
I think so too.
yeah, like the people grinding games right now to like in the Philippines, like Paul, I can't remember his last name, but he like tweeted like he's like I'm 40. I support my 3 kids alone. Like ever since the like quarantine, like that dude's like hustles the games. He's grinding. Like some people, like, oh, he's like a value extractor, and I swear like that shit pisses me off. But like those people are gonna be like in a great position in the future to like help like onboard lots of people and like have either a social media presence or be like a consultant for people who are like trying to learn how to work in the space, like or is just join a gaming company because like the experience he'll have is just being able to like, speak intelligently about like what has and hasn't worked in like crypto gaming will like anyone like busting their ass as hard as that dude is going to be in a position to make 6 figures in a few years. Like if they just don't give up and they just keep like improving and grinding and meeting people and learning about the projects they're like involved in. Like there's like that's just like one example. Like anyone like really like really putting the work in. Like not like myself who like manages a blog a month and like spends a lot of time just like doom scrolling on Twitter, like not being productive enough. Like I've been slacking hard. I gotta step my game up. But like
we only
grinders are gonna kill it. They're gonna kill it.
that's good advice, Jared. Bro, thank you for being here with us tonight.
Yeah. Hopefully some of that's good enough to air.
No, everything will be aired. It's an interesting thing to put a face, to the person tweeting, to the person being sometimes banned from the from the Discord.
Yeah.
Not banned, timed out would be the correct expression.
Also banned too. Couple of those.
Banned too, but overall, like I'm telling you, it's always good to put a face to the people because it reminds you to the person. It reminds you that they're human, and also sometimes it's all a matter of perspective. How can you take such a strong stance against someone whose point of view you haven't taken the chance to understand?
Yeah, no, well, 100% I agree with that. Yeah, I agree that. I mean, I don't like getting into it just because it ends up sounding so petty. Because, like, I think generally speaking, most interpersonal issues are petty. Like unless like no one in Decentraland has like killed anyone's wife, right? Like so like realistically, like whatever issue you have with someone is
You can just talk it out, bro.
yeah. So which oh okay fine. Well now I gotta go like reflect on it. Another another disagreement with someone else I had. So thank you
Okay,
for
bro.
that. It was no thank you for having me. It's an honor to be
No,
thought of as worthy as listening. Who's
thank you
coming
for
up
being
next
here
week
with
on the
us.
cast? Who should they stay tuned for? Do previews of next week?
We're gonna have interesting music afterwards,
Nice. All right.
but
Well,
it is still a surprise, bro. I am not able to spill the beats. Thank
awesome.
you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. See you at
I
the
really appreciate it.